Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Selena.
What are we going to be talking about this fine evening?
This fine evening, we will be talking about Opus Dei.
What is that?
We're going to find out.
All right, well, yeah. So grab your lattes and join us for the journey.
How the heck have you been, Hannah?
You know, I had a weekend with a friend, and it was crazy. We stayed up to like 5, 6 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was great. We watched some like scary movies that I fell asleep during.
How do you fall asleep during a scary movie?
Easy.
It must not have been that scary.
No, they're not. It's called like Hell House. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like, there's like what are those called? Like where it's like, it looks like a
Documentary?
almost like a documentary, but like almost like a student film. Like they just go and like the camera's going around and stuff. And like we watched like the first one with John, our friend. They're like a while back. And so then we watched the second one. And then apparently we watched the wrong one the first night. Apparently we thought it was Hell House 3, but it wasn't. And then so we started it last night, and I made it like 10 minutes, and I fell asleep.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, and there were like people screaming.
Like that's the worst when you fall asleep
know.
watching a show, and then you wake up to like gunshots or explosions or screaming.
Just something that's
just
super
like,
loud.
oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh my gosh. And so I got up and
It's
like,
disorienting.
yeah, I was going to the bathroom once. I was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gotta go to the bathroom. But then I was like, nope, I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Good night. So yeah, crazy.
So fun.
My sleeping schedule just got
Your sleep schedule is
ruined.
whack. My sleep schedule has been a little bit different since Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you said you stayed up late last night.
I stayed up till 1:30.
You stayed up till Hannah time.
Past 1:30. Because 1:30 was the last time I looked at my like clock.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was crazy. If you hear my dog,
Sorry, I couldn't help but smile a little. I was trying to ignore it.
It's cute, but it's also annoying.
Right.
So I'm sorry if you hear her. She's fine. She's just dramatic and likes to yell.
My dogs do too.
Yeah, she likes the attention, and she can hear Hannah's voice.
Yeah,
and she knows Hannah because she goes to work.
She goes to work with me.
Yeah,
she works with me.
She goes to work with Hannah. So she goes to work with us. I don't know.
With us, sure.
Yeah, and so she knows Hannah's voice, and she wants to hear it.
She gets mad at me because I'll be like, hello, and then I'll be like, bye, I have to go work.
Or
and
she gets really mad when Hannah tells her no when I get up to go pee.
Yeah, but she listens.
She does listen, but I think it's because she doesn't realize that you're also in there at first.
Yeah,
and then you say no, and she's like, oh crap.
She's here. She's listening to me.
Oh, I can't get away with stuff. You mean I can't jump on the desk and eat a Milky Way? Dang it.
No, she did that behind our backs.
She did. She was not nice.
Sneaky.
It could also be the cat. If the cat is like in the room with her.
Oh. I thought you meant like ate the Milky Way. I was like, how?
No, she like taunts her. Kiki taunts Suki. And it's kind of funny.
The cat at work today taunted you.
He did. He was so sad.
Oh, no, he looked really sad.
For context,
this is depressing.
We have station cats. And they're not anyone's cat in particular, but we had a cat, and then that cat had kittens, and so now we have multiple cats outside of our station, and we feed them and whatnot.
Yeah, they just like hang around outside.
Yeah, and there's one cat that stays on our side of the building, and then the rest of the cats are mainly on the other side of the building.
Yeah,
and this one cat had an injury, and it got infected, and so we ended up taking her to the vet. And they had to put her down. And
it was sad.
It was so sad. She was wonderful. She was really sweet. She literally would like see me pull up because a lot of the time I was like the first one there.
She's like, oh, the first one here for the morning.
Yeah, she'd like see me pull up and come and like greet me as I get out of my car and then walk me to the door. Yeah. I was like, oh. But so we had to put her down, and her brother
we have to assume, or we know it's her brother. Okay.
And he comes to the other side mainly to get food. He's after food. There's more food on our side because there's only one cat on our side. So he'll come and get food, but he was sitting in her box
Yeah,
in her little house with the blankets and stuff today. And I was like, he looks so sad.
He did look sad.
He looked pitiful. And so, I was like, oh, he's skittish, though. He doesn't really like
he's
people.
He's usually scared, yeah. He'll run under, like, the pipe or whatever that is. Yeah. Like, little water thing. If
he'll be eating and he sees us coming and he runs away, waits for us to go inside and goes back and eats.
Yeah.
But so he looked so sad. And so I inched just a little closer to him and he hissed at me. I said, nope, heard. All right, respect that.
I said, respect. And we walked away.
I said, I was just trying to give you some love because you look pitiful. So
he did. He looked really sad. But then he was like, immediately like,
he was like, no. And I was like, yes, sir. I respect your boundary.
Nope. Not gonna push a cat's boundaries like that.
No, I've been scratched and bitten in the face one too many times to not respect a cat's boundaries.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes like you don't even have to be like near a cat. You're walking by and they like swat at you and you're like, what was that for? Like, I didn't do anything. That's what my cat
Darcy will literally be walking by, not even looking at Kiki. Like, she's like looking for her bone or something. Yeah. And then Kiki will just swat from up on the top of the couch. I'm like, Kiki.
She's like, what?
I'm like, girl, she wasn't even doing, she's just walking. She didn't even know you were there.
Yeah, she didn't care.
She wasn't even aware. She's not spatially aware. Yeah. She didn't even know.
I think it's their way of playing, but like their claws hurt.
Their claws do hurt.
It hurts.
Now, Kiki does a good job with me. I think she knows I don't like cats. So she does a good job with me when like she's like playful. She doesn't bring her claws out with me. Like, so she'll be swatting at my hand, but without her claws. Now Marshall, when she's playing with Marshall, she'll have her claws out. She don't care. She's like, I don't care.
She's like, you can handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know where that demon voice came from. You can handle it. That's
you sound like Venom.
Voice. Yeah, literally. Kiki's just like, oh
no,
we are hungry.
Like the Garfield cat, not the Garfield cat. The what's that one? Not Garfield.
Oh,
with the mouse. No, with the mouse.
Oh, Tom and Jerry.
No,
with the mouse.
It's the Stuart Little. The Stuart Little cat.
I haven't seen that. I never saw Stuart Little.
You never saw Stuart Little?
Maybe I did.
Everybody needs to go DM Hannah right now and tell her.
All of you tell me.
You just DM her the script of Stuart Little.
There you go. I'll read it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I've seen it. I don't think I have.
There's Stuart Little and there's Stuart Little 2.
Did you watch Napoleon about the dog, the little puppy? There was a demon cat in that.
Really? It wasn't a demon cat.
Well, this one wasn't either, but it was evil.
Was Snowball.
Snowball
was a white fluffy cat, and that's the cat who lived. No, he's not. He lived in the house with them. He was like their cat, and then he went out, and there was like this street cat, and he was like, rah, rah,
I was like, yo, what's up?
Verbatim. That's what he sounded.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
No, like they talked in this movie. And he was like, I'm going to kill you. Or something like that. I was like,
no, Snowball and Stuart talked. And so did this other. Yeah, Snowball talked. Snowball only talked to Stuart, though, because Stuart was a mouse.
Right.
And this human family adopted. They went to the orphanage and then they came home with a mouse to adopt.
What?
They adopted a mouse.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
You know,
fun times.
That would be me. I would adopt an animal. I'd be like, oh.
No, they literally went to adopt, and then
did they go to a real orphanage?
Yes,
and they
adopt a mouse, and their son was like, I'm getting a little brother, and then they brought home a mouse.
What a disappointment! You think you're like getting a friend?
He was very upset. They become friends though.
That's so funny.
Yeah, they get along in the end. It's okay.
Goodness.
Crazy times. You know what else was crazy times?
You know, I don't know. What could it be?
The Opus Dei cult.
Oh my goodness. It's a cult.
Oh my goodness, it's a cult.
Oh my goodness, a cult.
There's some speculous now.
Okay. Do we need to put like disclaimers? Is there like, are we going to be like, are we safe?
Here's what I will say is it's no cult markets themselves as a cult.
No. So
there's people who believe this is just a subsect of the Catholic Church.
Really?
That's fine. That's because it was recognized by the Catholic Church. We'll get into that. But in my unprofessional opinion, it's a cult.
Right.
It's It's a cult. And there's a large group of people who believe it is a cult as well. I mean,
anything with like lots of rules and fear. And
very secretive,
tactics.
love bombing, stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a Catholic lay group, and it was founded in 1928 in Spain.
Okay.
And what is a lay group? Because I didn't know what a lay group was. It is referred to sometimes as a Catholic Congress, or it's like an organization or association of like non-ordained members of the Catholic Church. So that's what it's like. I've heard
the title like lay person, and I didn't know if that was just someone who like kind of preached but wasn't actually like a pastor ordained or something. Yeah. I don't know. That's it.
So, well, the founder, I think the founder, it said, when I looked up the founder, it said saint.
Saint?
Yeah.
So he's recognized by the Catholic Church as a saint.
Yeah. But not everybody in the group is. The Opus Dei aim to discuss political and social issues from a Catholic perspective.
Okay.
And they also believe that the Catholic Church has like strayed away from the path of like sexual purity and like true reverence.
So they're like,
they're not necessarily wrong on the sexual purity part.
I mean the church in general. Do they like claim to like be broken away from the Catholic Church, or do they still claim to be part of the Catholic Church?
No, they're still recognized as like part of the Catholic Church. They were officially recognized in 1950.
Okay.
Now, they are independent, though. They're still independent. Their actions are independent, but they're still recognized by the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So they're like their own organization.
Okay.
But
their own branch within the...
Yeah. So now, part of the reason it might have been taken from 1928 to 1950.
Yeah.
That's a while. That's a little bit. That's a few years. They face a lot of controversy.
Right.
Around recruitment, their controlling nature, and things that could be seen as like abusive towards the members. So... Yeah, we'll get into that one later. Well, sort of later, sort of now-ish. So James Martin is an author, not a part of the Opus Dei.
Okay.
I don't believe. He says that Opus Dei puts a heavy emphasis on recruiting and looks to the founder's writings. And the founder is Saint Jose Maria Escriba.
Okay, yeah.
Escriba? I don't know. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but him. And he said, you must kill yourself for proselytism, which is the act of attempting to convert people from a different religion to your religion, or a different political belief to your political belief.
He's talking metaphorically. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, but how does one... It gets dicey.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I mean, there's that term in, like, Christian circles as well, where, like, you die to yourself. Like, you put God above you, essentially. Like, you're
basically he's saying, like, you put converting non-members above your own self.
Yeah.
More so than, like... It implies even more so than like your own religion. Like you put like converting people over everything.
Over everything. Yeah. Well, don't put that over God. Like what?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't like when anyone in general, like not just one group, like everyone, all religions, all like when they emphasize like you feeling guilty and like you have to convert people because you can't.
Yeah, you have no control over what another person does.
Yeah, one thing to treat someone kindly and try to like, welcome them or whatever and tell them if you want to share your religion, that's one thing. That's fine.
Right.
But like, I don't like when they put so much emphasis like you have to convert this many people or this and this and this.
You're down on your numbers.
You have to hand out this many tracts.
You've only converted one person in the past 6 months. Yeah.
That's scary. It's not good. Yeah. It's fear.
It is. It's a fear tactic. Yeah. Now David Clark, and David Clark is a consultant for members of cults that have like left cults or like are leaving cults. He's like a support,
like a therapist
person, almost like a therapist. He kind of helps like de-brainwash people,
yeah, okay.
you know?
Yeah. Cool.
He says that Opus Dei uses cult-like recruitment techniques. Mainly, their main one is love bombing to get people to join, which love bombing is very popular among cults. You make people feel good. You make people, like you said, feel welcome. But then all of a sudden, it's that switch is flipped and they're not love bombing you anymore because now you're a member. So now you have to go through the fire. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? Like,
what do they do? Like, are they just like welcoming, or like, do they like what? Like, how are they like super nice? Like, do they just invite you to everything, or do they?
Yeah, they invite you. They tell you you're wonderful. They tell you you're special. They say you could do this, you could do that.
Okay,
you can do
we
anything.
do this.
You're
we have
wonderful.
This. Okay.
You're fantastic. And then all of a sudden, you're a piece of crap, and you need to do better. And oh no,
now you're not converting.
Yeah. So ex-members of Opus Dei state that the directors, and this comes into like the kind of like control aspect of it too. The directors would read letters sent to the members.
Oh.
Now
not a breach of privacy at all.
Right. Well, and most of the time, the members were either reading it to the directors or the directors were reading it to the members.
Oh, that would be so awkward.
Yeah. And the founder deemed this fit as a means of guidance from the directors, especially if the letter could contain something related to their vocation.
What?
Yeah. Well, we need to read their letters because what if something in there is like has to do with their vocation and they need our guidance on it?
Oh, it's like a roundabout way. Okay.
Yeah. Now,
not controlling.
That seems a little iffy to me.
Just a wee bit.
And as I was reading this, I was like, isn't that illegal? This is what I was commenting on. I was like, isn't it illegal? Because at first I was a little confused. I was like, they're opening their mail.
Yeah, that is illegal.
Reading it. I think the members are opening it and reading it to them mainly. But then sometimes the members will open it and then the directors will and they'll give it to them and then
so they found a way around it. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Jose Carlos Martin de la Hoz, H-O-Z? I don't know how to say it.
Oz?
He's a priest in Spain. He claims this is no longer in practice. He's an Opus Dei priest. He claims this is no longer in practice. They don't do this anymore. That's, whatever.
Of the past.
Yeah. But then, this is what gets me. Another spokesman for Opus Dei, and they didn't name him, claims that this practice was abandoned years ago, seeing as letters are rarely used for correspondence.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, we did stop this practice. Yeah. We did it. We're not denying we did it, but we stopped it because no one writes letters anymore.
So are they doing their emails and texts now? Like,
right. Like, it's like, okay, so you only stopped it because people stopped writing letters.
People didn't get letters, yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, you didn't stop it for like a good reason.
It's not like, you don't get brownie points for stopping it.
No.
Just because
no one gets
people
letters.
Aren't writing letters anymore,
Okay.
Yeah. Now, another member, they were from Harvard, and their mother founded Opus Dei Awareness Network in 1991 because she is no longer in contact with her daughter. Her daughter, is completely separated from her by Opus Dei, or due to Opus Dei.
Because of it, yeah.
They've manipulated her into completely cutting ties with her mother, and her mother can't speak to her anymore. So after that, she started this awareness network.
Okay.
Basically being like,
don't do this.
Yo.
Don't get caught up in this.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
This is what happened to my daughter, and this is what she was acting like, and just beware, and I'm sure it's also like a resource for people who are leaving, or, stuff like that, because they're secretive.
Yeah.
Like a cult, a mini cult.
Like a mini cult.
They have their secrets.
Okay.
Members have to take a vow when they join of secrecy, and those who break it
about what
are a vow to not disclose things, like a vow of secrecy. if they break that vow, they're persecuted and they're like cut off from the church.
Okay.
Which is like problematic.
So you can't share like what's happening in the church or like the beliefs.
You can't share the activities.
Oh, that's weird.
You can't share that you are a member. We'll get into all of them.
But you can't tell that you're a member?
Yeah. But this is really problematic because...
Well, then how do you convert people? Sorry.
Right.
What?
I feel like this is something they don't tell them when they're trying to get them to convert.
They just like, come to our church.
Yeah, like many occults.
Okay.
They don't tell them everything right up front.
Right.
They seem upfront and open, and then all of a sudden, why is everything so secretive?
Right.
But this is really problematic because if they're encouraging you to cut ties with your relatives and your family members,
big red flag.
Then not only that, yes, but also if you get like excommunicated or if you're like persecuted and you're like forced out of this only group that you have, because you gave everything into this group,
and then you don't have your family,
and then all of a sudden you're kicked out and you've like damaged your relationship with your relatives, then like you're alone, you have nothing. You're like, that's very that's problematic.
What do they do? Like, what do they do to you when they kick you out? They just kick you out and let you go, or like, are they like,
no, they're
just after you if you say anything, or like, what?
I don't think that I didn't hear anything about like them coming after people. I wouldn't put it past them, but like I wouldn't. I mean, it's a cult, but like, I didn't hear him say anything about like coming after people. But like, it's bad. It's bad and like psychological bad. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to do this because if I do, then I'm going to lose the only support system that I have because I've burned all my other bridges, you know, like, dang. So there's that. They do not publish a member list, and members generally don't reveal that they are members. Now, there was something that one of the directors or something came out with, like most of the time they tell their families that they've joined this, and that's okay. But well,
your family has to kind of know where you're going.
Right. In 1950, the Opus Dei Constitution, they have their own constitution.
Constitution?
Yeah. It says that members are forbidden to reveal their membership without permission from superiors.
Oh, awesome.
And members are also not allowed to reveal, they're prohibited from revealing how many members there are.
But why?
So they can't even, not only can they not say, I am a member of this church or this group, they can't even say, I am a member of a group of 30,000 people. You know, 30,000. Like, there's a lot.
What? Yeah. Really?
Yeah, there's a lot.
I thought this was like a small cult.
It's like in the 90,000s. Yeah.
Wow.
Range. Ish. Dang. We don't know for sure because
they don't disclose.
They can't say.
Weird. So it's estimated that
and they don't publish a members list like most people. And like some people, when I was reading, it was like some people believe that they did this because they were facing like backlash because, you know, it's 1928.
Right.
And, you know, people aren't the nicest and most open-minded or whatever. So they were just like facing backlash from, you know, their religious beliefs. So they were like, better to keep everything a secret so nobody can like use it against us. Yeah. Some people say, well, no, it's better to be open and transparent. Be like, look, this is all we're doing. Like, this is all it is. And when you're secretive, it looks suspicious.
For sure.
So, and like some people were saying it was to protect the members from being, you know, being ambushed. And I was like, well, okay, but it's not that way anymore. So it should change, in my opinion. They also don't allow like their rules or their finances to be public.
Oh, that's weird.
So like there's no public record of like what goes on. They don't allow their activities to be public. They don't allow they don't list their rules and like you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do this. And they also don't like list like, oh yeah, we gave to this organization or we accept money from this organization. So there's a lot of allegations on where their like finances come from.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to join a place I didn't know their beliefs.
Exactly.
Like what? Yeah. Like, do they tell you as you're being initiated, or you have to join first, and then you learn all of what they're saying?
I think it's like many cults where it's like, oh, they tell you a little bit, but they don't tell you the scary stuff until you remember.
Right. Obviously.
Yeah. Again, the 1950 Constitution, Opus Dei Constitution, states these constitutions publish instructions and and those which in the future may be published, and the other things pertaining to the government and the institute are never to be made public. Indeed, without the permission of the father.
Indeed.
Escriva, however you say it. Jose Maria Escriva. Those documents which are written in Latin language, Latin language, may not ever be translated into other languages.
Okay, but what happens when that father, Escriba, dies?
Well, he's probably dead.
He's for sure dead. So who approves it now? Whoever's in charge?
The guy who took over after him.
Oh, the saint guy?
Yeah.
No, that was
the saint guy.
Oh.
Saint Jose Maria.
Okay, that was the saint.
Founded it, but the guy who took over the church after him.
So there's like a head of the church, kind of like the Pope. So it's like what the Pope says.
Well, it's tied to the Pope, too.
Okay. But the Catholic Church doesn't, like... Does the Catholic Church recognize this group?
The Catholic Church recognizes this group, but this group works independently from the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Now, supporters of Opus Dei argue that the church, like I said, has an obligation to respect its members' privacy.
Okay, but they... Okay.
To an extent, yeah,
so they read the letters.
Right. To an extent, yes. But making members read letters, making members do this or that or the other is not necessarily respecting their privacy.
No.
Now, in the instance of some of the stuff that they make them do that I know of, because again, they're very secretive. So we don't know that much about them.
Yeah, like what's actually going on.
Yeah. So what I know of, some of the stuff that they make them do, it's very fortunate that they do protect their members' identities. Because...
They're doing illegal crap?
Not necessarily, but like nobody really wants to be known for doing this sort of stuff to themselves. You know, so it's like, okay, we'll get into it.
Okay. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I just gave her like a what? Look,
yeah.
Like what?
So they're fortunate in that instance.
Yeah.
However, if a member wants to share that they are a member, they should be able to share that they are a member.
Yeah, if that's your own personal choice.
Right. They shouldn't be like excommunicated or persecuted.
I mean, they could recommend that you keep it secret, but then if you want to, like, that's your own initiative. Well, and
it's also like, why do they need to keep it a secret?
Right. Well, that's the red flag in the first place. But
why? Because there's a lot of conspiracies around government people being involved with Opus Dei.
Okay. Conspiracies. So we're not sure.
We for sure know there's people on the Supreme Court in Opus Dei.
Okay.
I'm not going to name them.
Right.
But we for sure know that there are.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Whether they're members or they're, they've done something with them, like we for sure know that has happened.
Okay.
And that they are worldwide.
Okay.
Not just in Europe or something. Or America or something,
America, Europe. Whatever.
Now, there are legal disputes with, like, members regarding, like, or from members, like, or ex-members or however, regarding their physical and psychological injuries due to overworking and exploitation that have ensued over the past couple of years. So they underpay, and in one instance, they failed to report the employment of 99 employees in 2016.
What?
So they didn't report that they were employed, that these members were employed in 2000.
Well, that's illegal, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Now, men and women are often kept separate.
Oh. Yeah, got to keep them separate.
Got to keep them separate.
The men and the women mingling.
No. However, women are in charge of coming over every night to the men's quarters.
I'm sorry, what?
And cook for the men.
Nope, I'm out.
And then they leave.
I mean, I was out already, but
no, I know, but it's like then they leave, and there's no opportunity for socialization. There's like nothing like that. The women just come, cook, and leave, and they have like separate.
Random women have to cook for random men.
Yeah,
it's not just like their husbands.
No. If you're a woman in Opus Dei, you go and you cook for these men.
There's some ramen. Me.
You You can't like socialize with them, so you just cook for them and you leave. And they have like different like regimens that they are taught. Not necessarily regimens, but like they have different teachings taught to them. Like,
okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Like they have like certain etiquette almost. Like
not even etiquette. Like their actual content that they are learning is separate. It's not like they're all learning the same thing. Men are taught one thing. Indoctrination. Women are taught the other. Yeah, another thing. Yeah.
So they have two little religions going on.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think that's probably to keep women in line, I guess.
In submission,
if you could say. This is the Catholic Church we're talking about, so
I know.
Well, it's not the Catholic Church, but
I know other churches like this.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Now we're gonna get into the members. So there are 3 tiers, 3 types of members.
Okay,
and there are the supernumeraries. Supernumeraries. This takes up about 70 to 75% of the church or group or whatever.
So the peasants?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pretty much. And they are usually married and they are not expected to be celibate. And
that's good to know, I guess.
So there's that. And then there's
they're married.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's the associates. They make up about 25 to 30%. Sorry. They are required to be celibate and they live with other members. So this would be the group of like men live with the men, the women live with the women come over and cook and then they leave.
They don't live together?
They don't. They live with other members.
With other women.
Yeah.
And other men.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse with women and men. And then there's the numeraries.
The numeraries. They're kind of fun names.
It is a fun name.
Supernumerary.
Supernumerary. Associates and numerary.
Yeah.
They are the devout group. A large portion of their time they devote to the organization.
Okay.
And it's required to be celibate and to be unmarried. My question is, if you come in as a supernumerary and then you work your way up to a numerary, do you have to get a divorce?
Do you have to divorce? Surely not. They probably like, you can't be a numerary.
Numerary.
Is that
numerary?
A numerary.
But like, say that's what you want to do.
An enemy.
Say, like, do you divorce your spouse because you want to work up to a numerary?
Well, I don't know, because like, I don't know if it's the same thing as Catholicism, but like divorce is like,
no.
Down upon.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is it's like, what do you do in that instance?
I think you couldn't become one.
I
don't know.
That's not nice.
No, it's not. You can't move up.
So
maybe if like they pass away,
maybe people be poisoning their spouses over here.
We don't know.
Numeraries live in the world. The quote world,
right?
Like
out about in the secular.
If you're not religious, then it's like the secular world. Yeah. It's not they don't live in the religious,
in a religious community or something. Yeah,
they live out in the world, and they actually are encouraged to pursue quote secular occupations,
so they can reach other people.
So they're encouraged to go and like work in a coffee shop, or men or women are numeraries.
Okay.
Either one can be a numerary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me.
That one, yeah, a little bit. But if you think about it, they're trying to recruit people.
So they need women
to talk to women.
Yeah, that's true.
Because women are going to be more comfortable with a random woman coming up to them rather than...
Yeah.
Now, we're going to get into, and this is kind of like... I don't want to say trigger warning.
But
this can be seen as like
upsetting?
Kind of triggering, upsetting. It is upsetting.
Okay.
It is upsetting. Yeah. And Opus Dei encourages its members to do this.
Okay.
To themselves.
I don't like where this is going.
They strongly encourage mortification.
Okay.
Do you know what mortification is?
I have guesses, but I don't 100%.
What's your guess?
Is that like when they mutilate themselves?
I mean, it's basically they're causing themselves discomfort.
Oh.
They're causing themselves discomfort So that they can live more in the image of God.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's like when you, it's like self-punishment almost.
Yeah.
Almost like it.
Have you seen the Da Vinci Code?
No.
So for those of you who have seen the Da Vinci Code, the dude who wears the crown of thorns and whips himself, that is Opus Dei.
That's what they there's something like that in Supernatural too, when they think she's the witch and they make her, or whatever it is, and they make her.
But no, like the Da Vinci Code, that is Opus Dei.
Yeah.
That man isn't a member of Opus Dei.
He actually is.
Yes.
So yeah, okay.
So according to their web, again, they encourage mortification. It's basically mandatory to do something to yourself once a week, at least.
Does like flicking yourself or something count? Just like a little tap or
no? There's 3.
Do they have to be like really
3 different practices, and we'll get into the 3 different practices in a minute. And now the mortification is only for the associates and the numeraries. The supernumeraries don't have to do it. It's the celibate. It's for the celibate people.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to do this if you're a numerary.
No, you have to do it if you're a numerary.
I'm getting confused between the supers. The supers are the peasants.
Supers are the peasants.
Okay, sorry. That's just how I'm seeing it in my mind.
So if you're a supernumerary, from what I could find out, from what I saw, this is only for associates and numeraries, not the supernumeraries.
Okay. So why would you want to be? Sorry. Why would you want to go up if you have to?
Right. Now, according to the website,
their
website mentions that mortification helps you get closer to the image of God. So here's what it says. Love for God is therefore the deepest and most decisive reason for any kind of Christian sacrifice. This love includes the awareness of one's own sins and miseries and seeks the forgiveness of the one, capital O one, who was scourged, crowned with thorns, and crucified in order to forgive us for those same sins.
Okay. He did it, so we don't have to.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. I don't know. Just saying.
But their whole thing is
you have to experience.
Part of their whole thing is you must experience this like suffering in order to live in the image of God.
To be purified.
They also believe that everyone should have the chance of sainthood.
Not the married ones.
Right. Right.
Right?
Well, they believe that everyone should have a chance of sainthood. So if you're doing this to yourself, you are more likely to have the chance of sainthood because you're living more in the image of God.
Okay.
Basically.
Not true, but go ahead.
So now we're going to get into the 3 practices for the celibate members. There is I don't know how to pronounce this.
It's
basically like sackcloth.
Oh, okay.
It's not a cloth at all. What it is, though, is a small metal chain. It's like these. It's like almost like chainmail.
Chainmail, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like more wide than that. And it has metal spikes on it that are pointed inward. So you put it on with the spikes going into you, and you put it on your like upper thigh, and you wear it. And now this,
so it's not like a shirt. It's like not like a chainmail shirt.
It's like a little. It's like a little strap,
band.
That you put on your thigh with the spikes pointed in. Now this one, it's typically. It causes marks, but it does not typically cause you to bleed.
Okay, I was like, how sharp are these things?
This is actually like not as bad as the other options.
Oh, okay. So that's the easy one.
Sort of. Because you are expected to wear this for 2 hours a day, and with the exception of feast days. So they have like these feast days. And if it's a feast day, you don't have to wear it.
It's a holiday.
But for
every day?
Every other day, you have to wear it at least 2 hours a day.
How do they know if you're doing it? They don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they like.
Do they look at your scars? Because that's a little.
Yeah,
I guess messed up.
Probably. I mean, there's that. There's one that's like less severe, but it gets on my nerves.
Okay.
Now we're gonna get into if you've seen the Da Vinci Code, the whip. They
actually do that?
Yes, what it is that they're encouraged to whip themselves for a few minutes at least once a week while saying a prayer. So they stand there and they whip themselves while they pray. This one will cause you to bleed, obviously, if you're whipping yourself. Now, Escriva, the founder, had a special whip made for himself with metal tips on the end of it.
Oh my gosh. So he had like a cat o' nine tails?
Yeah.
Or whatever they're called?
Pretty much. Basically. Yeah. So I'll give him props. He wasn't just making his people do it. He was also doing it.
Okay.
I'll give him props there. Like, because a lot of like cult leaders will be like, well, I'm above it because I am blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, this guy actually also did this to himself.
Okay.
Next, we're going to get into the sleep.
Sleep?
Yes. This is the third and final mortification.
I don't like where this is going.
Tactic. Well, you sleep, but women sleep on wooden boards with no mattress.
Awesome.
Period.
Awesome.
That's just how they sleep. Escriva justified this rule, saying that since women had given up having children, because they're celibate, so they've given up having children, they need this in order to keep them emotionally strong.
Because they can't be emotionally strong.
Which sounds like a big old steamy pile of poop to me. So
he's saying they can't be emotionally strong without having a child?
Without having to go through suffering. And because you're not laboring, because you're not suffering through labor, you need something else.
Okay, but I ain't sleeping on wood every night.
Yeah. Now, men are to sleep on the floor or a slab of wood once a week.
Oh, but then they get comfy bed?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, this really gets on my nerves. Now, members who don't live at home or who don't live with like other members, they live at home, are expected to sleep without a pillow once a week.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So whether that's you're just like...
That seems a lot easier.
Yeah. Whether it's like you are a member, but you live with other like relatives. And so you're not, like I don't see why you can't sleep on the floor there. But, you know, maybe you have plush carpet anyways. And it's not really a suffering. But, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining like you forgot and it's like the end of the week and you're like, oh crap. And you like throw your pillow off your bed and you're just like, la la la.
I totally did that. Well, but nobody's going to know that you didn't do it. You're at home. You're at your own personal home.
No one knows.
It's not like they got cameras set up.
Maybe they do.
Or do they?
Exactly. Or do they?
Yeah. The Opus Dei, so like that's just like some of the messed up stuff that's what we know about too. That's what like they openly tell people about. Well, not like necessarily openly. They don't completely go into like the different types of mortification, but they do include mortification on their website. Like it's right there. It's like boom, here it is. So, but that's just what we know about their own activities. Now,
oh goodness.
We're coming to a little like we're coming up on the end here, so just stay with me. They have ties to political, educational, and financial groups around the world. This is a global group. Lay, if you I don't like to say lay, because it sounds weird, but that's what it is.
Yes.
Now, according to author Gareth Gore, he wrote a book, which I did not write down the name of.
How dare you?
Because I suck. So he wrote a book, kind of like with a lot of evidence pointing to like where they have gone and where they get their finances from and how they get their finances and how far they spread and like kind of their agenda. Almost.
Like what's their ultimate...
I'm not really going to get into all of that because I have not read the book. So
I don't have enough info.
Anything I would have would be like from someone else describing the book. So I'm not really going to get into much of that. But what I will say is, I'm going to leave you with here is, there is allegations of financial manipulation and crimes towards its members, like financial crimes and financial manipulation towards its members, whether that's members giving money or...
Well, they probably have to, I'm sure.
Or like... Not even, like, giving money, but, like, manipulating them to, like...
Like, what is it called? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I can't think of the
offerings
words.
and stuff.
Yeah. And, like, crimes, like, not really reporting where their money is being used for, that type of stuff.
They probably, like, are like, well, it's the Lord's money, so we don't have to tell. Or, like, there's some sort of holy reason.
Well, yeah,
you
sure.
Well,
totally holy.
You know what I mean, like holy in quotation marks.
Well, there's also allegations of secret political networks in Spain and in America.
Political networks?
Mm-hmm. So, like, for instance, the Supreme Court, like, here's the thing, too, is they also go after very smart people. Like, people, like, the one girl from Harvard.
Yeah.
Like, people with careers, like, political careers and financial careers.
I wonder why.
Because the people who have political careers and financial careers are more apt to make changes that they see fit.
Okay.
Is the conspiracy part of it. Is that... Oh, well, we're going after the people who have more power so that they can get stuff done, so they can rid the world of evil and get it back to,
what it was supposed to be.
What it's supposed to be, and the reverence and the purity and all that.
I'm just confused what it's supposed to be. Like, what are they saying? Like, what's their goal? Just convert everyone?
Well, their goal is to restore everyone to, like, a holy...
Being, like, okay.
Yeah, a holy, like... Not like we have many different religions in America alone.
Yeah.
And it's not the same religion as this. So it's unholy. It's an unholy. We have people who have no religion necessarily. Yeah. Not like, like.
Yeah, no, they don't.
They don't necessarily believe in any form of higher being. Yeah. So, and that is seen as unholy. So if you make it illegal to, do this or that or whatever, that where these people will
go over to Opus Dei.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, no, it's like it's restoring a little bit of, not even, it's like if you make it illegal for this person to go and do this one act that they do all the time, well, guess what? It's taking away from evil, and it's another step towards restoring it.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
That sort of thing. I don't know if that made sense to you guys, but
made sense. It made sense to me.
Okay. Now they also have allegations. This is where the educational aspect comes in. Okay. They have allegations of going into schools and grooming the children in the schools to recruit them towards their cause.
How?
So if you're grooming, and now this is, I don't think it's necessarily in America. I think this is more so like the third world country type thing. But if you're grooming a child, if all you're teaching them is, do you see how nasty and hateful it is? But if you believe what I believe, it's not nasty and hateful, and we can change that, and we can do this. And so you're like bringing them up into.
Okay, so they like go into schools and they teach it. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, they're basically like teaching it in the school. Or some people believe, in the education system, way high up, and when they make all the decisions of education, that whenever they will make it, if you get someone high enough, they can change something in the curriculum that will trickle down to get an idea into the children's heads, which will make them more perceptive to converting as an adult as well. Stuff like that. Here's my last piece of here's my last little tidbit for you.
Okay.
And we'll leave it in on this.
Oh gosh.
This is not even an allegation. This is an open investigation into the Opus Dei lay group by Argentina, the Argentinian government, for human trafficking and labor exploitation.
What?
There is an open investigation.
That's still going on today?
Linked to the Opus Dei Church.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do you know, like, Do they have physical locations? Like, how do you know it's an Opus Dei church? You just don't?
Yeah,
like, are they hidden?
They'll have... Well, I mean,
We'll
like,
just
if
say
you're
Opus
living
Dei?
with other people...
But, like, say you were just walking along the side of the street and you're just like, oh, I'm going to go into this church. Like, does it say that it's an Opus Dei church?
Probably not. I would probably disguise it as, like, a Catholic church. I don't think they have churches in the sense that you're thinking.
Okay, that's what I'm like. I'm like, is it like an actual church, or is it like we meet at this person's house and we do this? Like,
I think that they have meeting places,
but not like a physical church.
but not like not like a physical church.
Okay, interesting.
Because they're so secretive,
right? And if you have church, then just anyone's walking in.
I think they have. If I'm going to go the conspiracy route, which I'm probably gonna,
obviously,
most likely,
that's what this
makes
podcast
it more
is
interesting.
about.
They probably have a plot of land with a structure on it of some kind,
a meeting hall,
some sort of shelter area on it where they go to meet,
probably
privately. Especially if we're going the conspiracy theory route, and there are world leaders in Opus Dei, they're going to go privately. They're not going to go publicly and be like, yeah,
I go to this church.
Because Opus Dei means image of God.
Yeah.
So that's their whole thing, is being the image of God.
The image of God.
But very extremely.
I don't think
that God would have trafficked into the children.
No, I do not think so. And I don't think he would be, what was the crimes? The
financial manipulation and financial crime.
Yeah.
Don't think God would be grooming the children.
I don't think so.
I do not think that he would be encouraging you to separate from your family.
I don't. Yeah. No.
This is the Gru voice.
This is the Gru voice, and she goes into it all the time.
I do. But yeah, no,
it doesn't sound very much like.
A lot of the stuff that I read wasn't very image of God. Here's the thing. I can understand as messed up as it is, the mortification. I can understand their logic on that one, which is like, I understand the logic on that one. What I don't understand the logic of is completely cutting ties with your family. I don't understand the logic of like women and men have completely different, like almost not even like the rules are like the same to an extent, but like women have to sleep on wooden boards while men only have to sleep on the floor once a week. You know, like it's like that.
Well, and the cooking,
and the women have to come to cook, and they can't
for
socialize.
Random people. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not socializing.
Yeah,
that's not how like the church is like established. Like you're supposed to have communion and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and there's like obviously I could have gone. I didn't want
to go
too deep into the conspiracy because it's very, very political.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to seem like I was trashing certain political sides when it's like I'm not this member, like,
right?
This organization is trashing a side.
Yeah, we try to
keep it as light as possible.
Yeah,
but I mean, like there's certain
we're well talking about.
I know there's certain stuff that is just like I'm
not gonna go into
that's like too conspiracy theory. If you look up videos on Opus Dei, and I'm just going to tell you this right now, if you look up videos on Opus Dei cult, what you're going to get is a person on one side of especially if you're in America, on one side of like in their own in their party, who is diehard that party, who is like
a numinary.
We must protect our rights and blah, 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 because this is the Opus Dei cult and this is what they do and they do this and they have this person and that person and this person and they're all controlling everything and they're trying to change it all and take it away. And it's like, if that's what you believe, by all means, feel free to believe that. But it feels very deep conspiracy.
Yeah. Like it's, like I live by this conspiracy, so a deep conspiracy.
Yeah, that type of thing. And I was like, I don't necessarily want to get into all of that. Yeah. So you absolutely, and I'm encouraging you, do your own research on it.
As you always should.
As you always should. Yeah, something. Never just be like, oh, well, this person said it, so it's true.
Felina said this.
If you're like, that's interesting. Let me look that up. Yeah. You know, like you should always go back and look it up.
Because we're not professionals on any of the topics.
Yes.
We've said that before.
Yes, before you start claiming.
that we were professionals. We are not.
We are not professionals.
No. We are Gru.
We just like fun little tidbits.
As Gru says, in terms of money, we have no money.
And that is the Lord's truth.
All right. Well.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah. Listening to that. I know some of them can be quite kind of freaky.
Some of them can be a little bit out there too.
Yeah. This is definitely out there. But if you enjoy this sort of topic,
you can always reach out to us and let us know at lattespodcast@gmail.com. Or if you just want to chit chat and, or if you have any other ideas that you might think that we would like, absolutely reach out to us there. Or you can reach us on Facebook and Instagram at Lattes on My Mind. Or you can comment on any of our comment sections in Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, or Audible.
And follow us.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, we've seen those numbers.
Don't forget to follow us on any of those platforms.
Yeah.
Whether that be listening or just Facebook and Instagram, because you just want to hang out. We do post polls.
Yes, we do. Occasionally.
Been bad about it, Yeah. And we always love to hear your little inputs.
Yes, we do.
On the polls.
Like to see what everyone thinks.
Like if you like candy corn or not.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But in other words, don't go join a cult.
Don't join a cult.
Make sure you vet out.
Do your own research.
When someone invites you to their church.
If there's red flags, listen
Step
to
back
them.
Before you become a numinary.
Don't become a numinary.
A supernumerary. Whichever one. Super anemone.